After you've designed the background for your light fall or leaf fall animation, you're going to move to the next step, which is the motion guide. So I'm going to turn on my light table and start to create the motion guide for my animation. So this is my background that I'm going to be using. It's just like a ruined castle. It's supposed to look like a ruined castle on hills with a cemetery in the background. And I'm going to have leaves kind of coming off of one side of the paper and going to be kind of flowing through the air and traveling to the other side of the paper. So I need a separate sheet of animation paper, again, placed on those animation pegs at the bottom so that my animation, when I go to scan and create the movie file, stays registered. So on this new sheet of paper, I'm going to draw in our blue animation pencil just so that you can see the visual difference of it. But I'm going to start to make the motion guide that my leaf is going to travel in. So based on the observations that we made from previously, we decided that our leaf travels pretty randomly. Its path seems very random and not predictable. We also decided that they don't just fall straight down. So the leaves are not going to just come from a height and go straight down. They're going to be blown, since they're so lightweight, out at least a little bit by the wind or by the air around it. They're going to fall slowly. And they're also going to follow the path of the wind. So if I have a stronger wind, it's going to be more kind of directly to the side. If I have a lighter wind, it's going to be more kind of straight down towards the ground. So those are some of the major things that we noticed. We also noticed that the leaves, when they fell, went in a kind of a zigzag pattern, kind of back and forth, back and forth. And then when it got to a certain point on the path, it seemed to hang and float before it changed directions. And then it sped up till it get to that next direction, and then it kind of hung and floated almost before it changed direction into the next way across. So I'm just going to start to design how I want my leaf pattern to be. So I'm going to be a little bit different with this. I'm going to have my leaves start on the right-hand side of my paper and blow across to the left. As if the wind is blowing that direction and blowing them towards the left-hand side of my paper. So that's where my line's going to start. And since it's random, I don't have to have too much of a precise plan for this. So I can just start sketching a line where I want my leaves to go. And I want them to kind of come in from the side and sweep over in front of my destroyed building here. And I think I'm going to have them swirl up around my cemetery here before they come to this side, and then they're going to start kind of a zigzag pattern before they fall on the ground somewhere over here. So I'm going to have them kind of circle in the air, go back and forth and circle before they hit the ground. So something that is just completely and totally random. It doesn't have to be like the bounce ball where we're measuring and thinking about the distance between each bounce in that case. This one is kind of a little bit more freeform, more up to you and your creativity. So I'm just pushing this line darker so that's easier for me to see when I actually go and start animating. And then I'm going to add my tick marks on, or my little hash marks on, that indicate the timing of my animation. So a couple things that we did say and noted from our observations is that it's affected by the wind. So it might be traveling faster when there's heavier winds. So if I want my animation to have a kind of faster motion here at the start from the right-hand side as it moves to the left because the wind is heavier, but then have it be slower here, then I'm gonna have to reflect that in the timing that I lay down, those marks that I make. So I'm just pushing this a little bit darker so that it's easier to see. And then I'll make those marks on there. So again, I want this portion, this kind of beginning portion, to be pretty fast. So I'm not going to have many lines on there. So I'm going to start by just, of course, they kind of got to appear on screen. So here at the top, I'm going to have them be closer together, the kind of the top of this hill almost. And then as it's kind of descending down, I'm going to have them be spaced further apart. And here I want them spaced really far apart because I want them to be like they're traveling fast before they get to this swooping part. So still kind of farther apart here, but not as far apart here. Here, as we're kind of getting towards the peak of that curve in this case, I'm going to have them group closer together so they slow down, but then accelerate out. So it's going to go slow, fast, slow. It's going to pick up speed as it goes around. Again, by all of that is accomplished through where the distance between each mark, farther apart those marks are, the faster the animation will be. So it's going to be slow, get fast, go slow here, and get fast around. And this is where I want it to kind of accelerate into these, but then slow down a lot as it goes gradually towards the ground. So around here, I'm going to have a lot of different marks kind of really put close together, because I don't want this to take too long. So my pacing here is going to be a little bit more even. So the spaces between these marks are going to be evenly paced. Just because I want it to be like it's slowly drifting towards the ground. And again, since this is your animation and leaves, light objects are very random in how they appear and even their timing, you get to pace this out based off of what you feel. Do you want it to go fast? Do you want it to go slow? Do you want it to be more evenly paced? Here, as I'm getting towards the end, I'm going to draw lots of little marks because I want it to go nice and slow as it finally touches the ground. So again, the path that your leaf is going to take is going to be very random, up to you, and the timing is as well. Does it start out slow and get faster? Does it start fast and get slow? It's up to you. You just remembering that if you want your animation to move slowly, then you're going to have those drawings grouped closer together. If you want it to move faster, then you're going to have those drawings paced farther apart as it goes along the path over the background of your animation.